Okay, my name is Kibonen. I'm the creative director for Kibonen Brands. I'm also the CEO for Cameroon Clothing Company. I'm based in New York, but I'm currently in Cameroon. So I've been doing fashion for over a decade, and what inspired me to do fashion was my love for the culture of Cameroon and my exposure to living in New York, and realizing that Cameroonians, we have a very rich culture, but we've never been bold enough or confident enough to explore it. So figuring out ways of modernizing the traditional regalia of the people of the Northwest region, the Togo, was what actually got me into fashion. And I felt like I was bringing something new, something different, something unique to the global world of fashion. I use fashion as a tool to sensitize, create awareness on certain things. Basically, at Cameroon Clothing Company, we run an ethical production, zero waste factory production, and the reason we do so is because of the waste and the damage fashion as a whole contributes to the ecosystem. So we recycle fabrics, we use them over, and we just make sure we do not waste anything. So that's one of the things we use fashion as activism for. And I also use fashion as a strong message to pass across to the world, especially to Africans, making them know that fashion is an economic development tool. And that is evident for us through how much employment we've created through fashion. And because in Africa, in Cameroon in particular, we think fashion is just meant to be a hobby. But we are here to tell people that fashion is a great tool for economic development. So that's another angle which we use fashion to advocate and be activists for. Moving back to Cameroon from New York City, of course, there's already the cultural differences, work ethics, commitment to work, knowledge, skills. So for me, what has been most challenging in Cameroon has been finding the right skill set for what we do. Garment construction at the industrial level is very different from custom clothing production. So having the right skill set for people to be able to engage in all of the different types of machinery that we have at our production center has been really a big challenge. And the ability to produce like items in quantities has also been very challenging. But we're getting there. We've been doing a lot of training, development, capacity building, and things are improving. So what I'm saying today is the fact that there is a lot of potential in Cameroon. There are a lot of young people who are unemployed, who are looking for something to do. And fashion is that thing which can easily get people hooked and which can easily make people love it. So we're really out there getting young people, training them and putting them to sit behind the machines, because we know that they can provide for their families, they can make enough income to sustain their families. So why not give it a try? The fact that it's an industry that's not so developed in Cameroon does not mean that we cannot make it. So basically, we are taking an engagement to transform the fashion industry in Cameroon. I started fashion in New York, and in New York I've been able to do as much as I could. I have been able to have my own boutiques there. I've been able to showcase at almost all the fashion weeks in the world. So moving back to Cameroon for me was that thing that you want to do for your country. So now in Cameroon, I'm actually working on setting up my own retail outlets across different places, in the malls and stuff, and across Africa, because my model initially is a Zara model, which is going to be taking control of our entire value chain, from production to retail to the logistics. So we are starting with our first flagship store in Cameroon, in Douala. So that's what we're actually working on right now. And after that, of course, why not? Nigeria is always a beautiful place to be. I've done a lot of stuff in Nigeria, but I've never really been installed there. So Nigeria would definitely naturally be next, and so many other parts of Africa. and then back to London and New York and Paris. And so it's, for me, fashion is not that thing which is a one size fits all. Different places have their particularities, so we are going to be able to tweak our taste such that we are able to suit our clients in these different places. I always tell people that a lot of my clients are from Australia, which is weird, but yes, I have a lot of Australian clients, and that's another place that I'm looking to be in. Basically, at Cameroon Clothing Company, we accompany young emerging designers to help them be able to develop what's inside of them and also to scale in their production. So we work with those who've already started their brands and are unable to scale. So we help them in production so they can scale, and such that they can also be sold across the globe, right? Because there's a certain level of quality that goes with you being able to expand in your production. Then I personally run a fashion academy where I work with young designers or young creatives, basically trying to help them develop, like, how do I say develop? No, but bring out what's inside of them. Because what I notice is Cameroonians are so creative, right? But we just don't have the right avenue for expression. So I started an academy where I am working with young people. For now, it's virtual. In the long run, we are working on setting up a creative arts school where we can harness, groom, develop, and actually propel creative talents from not just from Cameroon. When COVID-19 broke out, I was in the US, and the US was just shut down and nothing was working, and I actually contracted COVID at that time, so it was a very challenging time for me. But immediately after I got healed of COVID, and I was like, I did not die of COVID, so there must be some more for me. Basically, that was around the time when I was nursing the desire, not really the desire, I was being approached to come back to Cameroon and set up this. So by 2020, we had made up our minds I had made up my mind to join forces with my business partner, Dr. Kibonen, and I was back in Cameroon setting up Cameroon Clothing Company. So for me, it was two ways. Initially, it destabilized me because production could not be as effective, because when we look at how production used to be done, either we do it here and transport it there, or we do it in China or in the US. The US was completely shut down. China was completely shut down. Cameroon was open to work, but there was no means of transporting the products to the United States. So for me, it was an opportunity to pivot. It was an opportunity to change the way I looked at things. And then it just struck me, especially after interacting with my business partner, it struck me that if we do not really develop production on our continent, one day we are going to be stuck when the world shuts down. So those are some of the basic or the underlying factors that led us to opening Cameroon Clothing Company. And today, with what we are doing at Cameroon Clothing Company, to be honest, we are changing. We are challenging people from the production they used to do in China. We are getting those things produced for them here. So COVID for me was a stepping stone. The kind of stepping stone which is, you're not afraid. Around COVID, you could do anything. You could get away with murder. If you made a mistake, well, it was COVID. If it turns out well, great, it was COVID. So I used it as an opportunity to challenge myself, to push myself, and to position myself in a place where I could be of better impact, So I go back to the US every now and then, and going back, I also see how much development is happening in the world of fashion and how much Black designers are being given opportunities which they never were given before. So, it's a whole movement, people are thinking out of the box, people are exploring different things, and people are giving others chances which normally they would not. I say COVID was a huge revolution to the world, that kind of thing the world needed. Honestly, I've been so blessed in the fashion industry. I've had huge privileges, huge opportunities, huge doors open for me. I remember a couple of years ago, Lupita Nyong'o contacted me, her team contacted me, and they wanted me to provide some dresses for her. And I did provide these dresses, and I was able to get those dresses worn by Lupita on different occasions. That for me was a game changer. Like, Lupita, first of all, I was so fond of her because I loved what she represented to the black girl, to the young creative from the continent, you know, who basically does not have so many opportunities, but she was able to get in there and she was able to break the barriers. So for me, she was a huge inspiration. And I kept telling myself, if Lupita can do it, I can do it. And after Lupita wore the dress, the internet shut down. I had so many people wanting the dresses. And then fast forward, Gayle King, Oprah Winfrey's best friend, contacted me also. She wanted some dresses, which I gave her. And working with Gayle King has been very, very interesting because she just basically loves a particular dress that I make, the Lupita dress. She basically loves it and she's worn it several times. And for me, that's the kind of impact that makes my heart smile because she understands the cultural implication of this dress. She understands the current meaning of the dress, and she understands the futuristic nature of the dress. And it's a dress which is really simple, straight to the point, nothing too fancy, but it's very versatile. So I can say Gayle has worn that dress about 5 times on different, very important occasions. When you see Gayle wear a dress for the launching of Black Panther, the movie premiere, you see her wear the same dress when she goes to South Africa for the Global Citizens Festival. You see her wear that same dress when she's presenting at the Oprah Winfrey, at the museum for Oprah Winfrey at the Smithsonian. You see her wear that same dress when she's announcing Chadwick Boseman's passing. It's one dress, you know. But for me, it touches me a lot because it means that the message I wanted to pass across through that dress was effectively felt by someone. So I've been able to also work with a couple of productions. For instance, I've worked on Wizkid's production sets when they decided to go all tribal, Wizkid and Drake. So that movie video, we actually styled a lot of the behind the scenes and the dancers and stuff. So I'm very big on costume design for movies. Why? Because fashion has a huge message in a production, in a movie. Unfortunately, I've not been able to work on local productions because I think we are still undermining how important fashion is in film. If we notice, one of the reasons why certain things become trendy is because of it was seen either on a celebrity, on a musician, on an actress, or an actor. And if you look at the way the Grammys and the Oscars, they always give awards to costume designers, and it's a really big deal. But I don't know if that aspect is really being exploited in our environment. But that's one thing which I don't mind really putting my energy and partnering or collaborating or being hired by movie producers to be able to direct the costuming of their movies. And also this goes further, not just on the movie set, but to the actors and actresses. Actors and actresses are our walking models, right? So if they're able to create messages around their personalities based on what they wear, it's going to have a huge impact on their image, and also a huge impact in bringing business for the designers. That's something I've not really seen so much in our environment. But before becoming a fashion designer, I was a wardrobe consultant, and I have a certification in wardrobe consulting. So I've done a lot of that kind of work for a lot of clients abroad, and I don't mind, bringing my services here. And that's one service which I'm very particular about because for me, it's about fusing messages, right? Like we're able to use fashion to communicate a whole lot. And there are a lot of people who want to be able to consume fashion made in Africa, like they say, but they don't know how to go about it. Some people find it too bold. Some people say, oh no, it's not so professional. But I think with the nice blend, we can be able to infuse a lot of our African aesthetics to a modern wardrobe and make it seamless, effortless, and kind of upslick, so anybody can get into it and find their way in it without feeling too overbearing. So yeah, I'm very interested in all of that, Of course, negativity in the entertainment world is something we cannot avoid, because some people would like it, some would not like it, some would like you, some would not like you, some would like the kind of style, the kind of designs you make, others will not like it. But I would say that I always just never focus on the negativity. I always strive to stay on the positive lane, because there is no place where I've ever seen negativity boost you or make you thrive. It's really a kind of energy which is not needed for a positive mind. So I've had negative encounters, I've had backlashes, basically because of the way I think and because of the fact that I express myself just the way I see it. And sometimes it's hard for people to swallow it. But I've had strong opinions about a couple of things. It could be the way the media perceives or the way the media approaches what we do. It could be the way other designers take their work. It could be about the way people even appreciate the things we do. I've had strong opinions about that, and I know that every time I've voiced my opinion, there's always been like some negative backlash. But to be honest, I think what matters the most is my intentions. My intentions are clear, my intentions are pure, and my intentions is for this industry to really grow. Because it's frustrating for us that we put in so much energy and we are still in an industry, in a country, or in a continent where it's not recognized, and we are struggling to just get the attention, So I will always voice my opinion, and I would always want to be able to pull the underdogs such that they are not marginalized and they're not trampled upon. And my biggest goal is for the fashion industry to have its place in the ecosystem, especially here in Cameroon. And when you're that voice, when you're that activist, when you're that advocate, you would have backlashes, but hey, we keep it moving. For young creatives who dream of becoming fashion designers, the first thing is just contact me. I think right now I'm in a better place to be able to support others. I know in the past a lot of people have tried to contact me to hold their hands, but I was not even in that place. I was not in that place to be able to hold people's hands, because sometimes people see you succeeding, but they don't know what you're going through. And they could get mad like, oh, I wanted her to support me or to help me, but she did not. I'm in a better place now, financially, mentally, infrastructure-wise, to be able to help the younger ones. So the first thing I'll tell you is contact me. The second thing I would say is I would want to tell you to look deep into yourself and figure out why you're doing fashion. It's hard for me sometimes to encourage people to do fashion because it's a tough field. It's really tough. It's a field that consumes you. And what I say is, if you are not really convinced you're bringing something different into the world of fashion, it means you're just making another beautiful dress. And I don't know if you really want to spend your time to just make another beautiful dress which will come from China, which will come from wherever. What I would say is make sure you have a strong angle to what you do. Make sure you have a strong viewpoint to what you're bringing, and like I say, into the world of fashion. There is a lot that is being done out there. There is a lot that is being exploited, and you want to be able to do something that can give you authority, that can give you power. It doesn't matter what you're thinking. Articulate it in such a way that it becomes yours. Like I always say, one of the reasons why fashion to me is what it is today is because modernizing the Togo was an angle for me. And today I'm so glad to see that what I had in my mind, which was the fact that the Cameroonians were unable to have the confidence to own their culture, is becoming a reality today. When we were growing up, when people want to do anything traditional or formal, they would have to go to Nigeria, buy the gele, buy the ashoke, and dress in that to appear traditional. And I was like, but we even have something better than what they have. So seeing how much our traditional Togo dog is being used today, traditional weddings, it's just so beautiful. It's really joy to me, because before it just never was there. But if I did not identify that different thing and choose to take it out into the world and get it all over, we would never have been where we are today. So I would say, look around you. There is so many things that would inspire you from around you. It could be your culture, it could be a way of doing things, it could be anything so basic, but look for an angle. Make it yours. Like, articulate it in a way that it becomes yours. So that if they're talking about this thing in fashion, this revolution in fashion, it could be you. I always tell people, don't just make another dress that would go to the trash tomorrow. It could be beautiful today, but it will go to the trash tomorrow. It will pollute the atmosphere. Look for something that makes you different. Look for a unique angle. That should be your stake in fashion. So for those who know me, I'm sure they know me by now. I'm always smiling, I'm very lighthearted, I'm very easy breezy, and that's what I want everybody to know me for. Things could be as tough as they could be, but I want people to still maintain that childlike nature, that childlike heart, because it really keeps things going. You know, it's not that serious. It cannot be that serious. That's what I always say. But let's keep it moving. Let's keep it light. Let's keep it sweet. Let's make sure we are kind to the person next to us. For those who've never known me, you have the opportunity to know me today. And yeah, Kibonen, as simple as it can be. This is how basic I can get. So I'm glad talking to you today. I'm glad you're discovering who I am today. And I hope that in one way or another, I'm able to inspire you to bring out the best that is laying dormant in you. Kibonen, Kibonen, Kibonen. So on Facebook, I'm Kibonen. On Instagram, I'm Kibonen. Kibonen.